I hope you weren't trying to get out of town this week. Between the weather, a rush to rebook after last week's storm, a minor runway mishap in New York, and new FAA rules, it was the perfect confluence of events. Hundreds of flights were grounded, leaving passengers with nothing to do but wait. At Logan Airport, where JetBlue and other airlines are hustling to clear a backlog of flights, the passengers are getting restless.
This is my third day trying to get to Chicago.
Originally I was flying out of Southwest, and now the second time was rescheduled for Delta, and that got delayed. And so now I'm not flying out until Thursday morning.
We have to wait here for more 6 hours to get to JFK. And our connecting flights, we're going to miss those connecting flights. We're going to catch another one a couple of hours later. So it's going to be a long day for us.
And that's just the beginning of the long day for Carlos Cavalcanti and his family. They're on their way home to Brazil. He says he's experienced the worst delays in the U.S.
I wonder why there's so many problems here in the U.S. compared to airports in Toronto or in Calgary or in Vancouver, where the weather is even worse than here.
For travelers still delayed, it's one of many questions to ponder. My next guest has the inside scoop on the airline industry. Patrick Smith is a commercial pilot and author of the book Cockpit Confidential. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me back.
So it's one thing when you shut down airlines when there's, a blizzard or a hurricane or tornadoes or extreme winds or something like this. How often and how common is it just when it's plain cold?
It's very uncommon, and you just used the word confluence, and really that's what we have here. This is really four things happening at the same time. It's ice and snow, it's sub-freezing temperatures, it's the holiday rush, full flights, crowded airports, and it's the new FAA rest requirements for pilots, which went into effect just on January 1st.
So
all of these things happening at the same time. They did, and had a year or more to have a look and understand what these changes were going to mean. But really, it's not until the rules are actually in play and it's happening that a carrier can get a sense of how it's going to impact operations, because you have so many variables, so many moving parts, if you will, at an airline, especially when you've got domestic operations, international operations, spread out really across the world.
How much of this is just the airlines like JetBlue, which is restarting, I think, in full board tomorrow, but just getting the planes back to their origin so they can restart the cycle?
Well, carriers have, in just the past 5 years or so, become very proactive and preemptive when the weather gets bad, as far as canceling flights ahead of time, slowing down the operation. And, that's unfortunate for the thousands of people stuck at the airport this past weekend. But it could have been a lot worse for a lot more people had the airlines tried to push through. And also, I think people should understand that ice and snow are one thing and need to be dealt with in a certain way. Cold temperatures, this isn't really about the airplane's ability to fly. I mean, after all, it's 60 degrees below zero at 39,000 feet. This is about the support infrastructure at the airport, the personnel, the ground equipment, all the different vehicles that go into supporting the operation.
So when we were out at Logan Airport today, we talked to a number of passengers, and one of them had a question we're going to ask you to answer about communicating what the problems are. Here's what that person wants to know.
I was wondering if maybe they could do a better job of communicating to their customers, like the explanations for why and what kind of weather conditions are suitable versus not suitable for traveling in.
Well, airlines, let's face it, try harder than they used to, but still have a long way to go, I think, when it comes to communicating to their customers. There's a part of the book, actually, where I talk about this. What people often perceive to be dishonesty from a carrier is usually more of a kind of interdepartmental breakdown of communication, where a message is passed along from one department to another, and each of these departments has its own vernacular and its own priorities, and so the message gets scrambled by the time it's broadcast over the PA to the people at the gate trying to figure out, why is my flight not going?
Even though when you're sitting on the flight in the tarmac, they don't know or they don't want to tell you.
It can sometimes come down to just the personality of the agent who's giving you the information. I mean,
it depends on who's giving you the information.
It can sometimes, sure.
So you've been writing about this. There's a whole new thing happening at Logan. We're going to be traveling to Dubai, a lot of Japan we've already started, China. This could create a whole new series of havoc in terms of weather, largely, starting here.
Well, I see it as exciting. By next summer, we're going to have flights from Boston nonstop to China, Japan, Dubai, Istanbul, Panama, and maybe a couple of other places too. When I was a little kid hanging out at Logan Airport, I just never would have dreamt that the airport would become as international as it is becoming. And some of these carriers coming in, Emirates and Turkish Airlines, are some of the preeminent carriers in the world. Emirates is on its way to becoming the largest airline in the world. Turkish Airlines is very highly respected.
All right, I guess we still don't qualify as an international.
Well, we'll never be Amsterdam or Bangkok.
You're not going to be JFK.
No.
All right, Patrick Smith, thanks for sharing your expertise. We appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you.